there, it's Ingrid. Today we have a great card, and it's very simple and straightforward, has a little bit of technique in the background. But first I wanted to show you a cool little trick that I have for what to do when you don't have a butterfly half. Now, I'm playing with the Beautiful World Stamp of Approval collection, and this particular stamp set is called Beautiful World, and this was designed by Gina K. Now, the collection comes with a half butterfly kind of fluttering off to the right and a full butterfly, which is great because you have variety. But in my project, one of my projects, I actually wanted a half larger butterfly. So what do? I'm going to show you. It's pretty simple. I have a piece of scrap paper here, and this is just some distress ink. This is some picked raspberry and a little bit of broken china going around to give me kind of that purplish glow. I'm going to take some VersaFine black onyx ink, and I want to get a nice solid impression. I love this ink. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my butterfly. Now, to get it to look like this one, and let me show you here. You're just probably sitting there going, well, how are you going to do that? Well, really, when you look at it, look at this. Now turn this one sideways. It's really just half a butterfly. See? Now, if I wanted it to go this exact direction, all I would do is remove this and that. And then you would have a butterfly on its side, just like this. I have this butterfly going this direction, and then this one going the opposite direction. So you can see it was just the full cut in half. Pretty cool, right? Well, now we're gonna get onto the project. I have another cool project. I have all the specifics on this project on the blog post. Now we're gonna move on to another project and work on a little bit of a sponge background and create a pretty cool, clean and simple card. We're using more mustard, spice marmalade, picked raspberry, and seedless preserves today. Several nice, bright and vibrant distress colors, and I've gone ahead and sped this all up for you. This part's a little bit slower, and this is just how I apply my distress inks. I use the mini sponge tools, and you just want to keep very light pressure, just very even pressure. Start off your project, work onto your project, and then just come on with a second color and make sure that you're overlapping. And then once you have a nice amount on there, come back in with the lighter shade and blend it out. And that's how you get that seamless blend. I'll put a link right here that actually takes you to another video on how to do some more distress blending if you're interested. That'll pop up in another window for you. So you can see here we have the different colors. Here we have the picked raspberry. Of course, I started with the wrong sponge. I started with my purple sponge, so it got a little dark, but that's okay. You just come back in with the brighter color and it'll brighten it all up. You don't really want to come in with the purple next to the orange. It kind of turns it a little brownish. It's better to come in with the pink, as the pink has a little bit more of the red in there versus the blue, and those two blend a little bit better together. And then you can see how that's a little bit too harsh with that purple, and come back in with the pink, and it just kind of smooths it all out. And that's kind of the magic of distress. I love blending with these colors. They're so vibrant and so easy to work with. So once you have your background exactly how you want it, you're going to then spritz some water into your hand, and you're going to kind of flick it at your project. And this is called the flick distress technique. And you're just going to leave that water on as long as you want. You can see that it's immediately starting to lighten up in those spots. Distress, when it reacts with water, has a fugitive property in which, it just really starts to work. There's no way of containing it. And here I'm going to zoom in on that. You can see especially that big splot right there. It's really starting to lighten up. Now, if you were to dab this, as you'll see me at the end of this, I will just quickly dab it. It'll actually pull up most of the color even. So I ended up coming back over it after I dried it with a little bit more of the mustard seed and a little tiny hint of the orange, the spice marmalade. So once that's totally dry, you want to go ahead and make sure that you go back over it with a destatic tool and just make sure that you don't have any excess oils or moisture on your paper. Test it out with a little bit of embossing powder before actually stamping your images. You'll see that I have a little tiny bit stick to my project. I quickly tap that off. Comes off rather easily, and then I move on. So I'm stamping my full butterfly there more in the yellow, kind of the brighter parts of the distress piece and this gorgeous, gorgeous flourish. It's just a very, very pretty elegant flourish here in the other corner. To me, that's just kind of like the vines and the flowers. And I'm trying to get as much of it as possible and trying to get a really good image there. And then I decided to come back in with the half butterfly after I applied a little bit of the powder so that I can actually see where everything is, because it's kind of hard sometimes to see the clear Versamark on there. So once I have that, I add a little tiny bit of the flourish again, kind of more of the vines in the corner, just to kind of balance the project a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and heat set this. Then once we're completely done and everything is heat set, I'm going to come back over it with my microfiber cloth, and it's looking really good. Now next up, we're going to use this great stamp from Geo Builders, which is a new stamp set designed by Catherine herself. This is a debut Catherine Pooler designed stamp set for Stamp of Approval. And this is a great stamp. We're just going to add a little bit of tone on tone here to the end of the white strip that's going to be behind our piece. And so I'm just kind of getting it positioned right. I'm going to line up a couple of the points there. And I just want to have it about the same on both sides. Just dip that back in some white embossing powder and get that heat set. There's the U part of the All About You collection and the Miss that off to the right. And I love that. I love stamps where I have options. I love it. It's a nice, bright, vibrant card, and love the greeting, love options. And there you see the Geo Builders. You can kind of see that, and this will zoom out and become a little bit more clear, and I have some great close-ups here at the end which really highlight that. See the light bouncing off those little tiny chevrons there. That's the perfect little element behind that. Love that stamp. So thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the tips. Here are some close-ups, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do. I look forward to hopefully seeing you in another video soon. Go ahead and hit thumbs up if you like this video, and if you want to see a little bit more, be sure to head over to the blog and subscribe to our Creative Tips e-letter. We have a free exclusive video series that you won't find here on YouTube, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.